In the unforgiving world of boxing where fists speak louder than words, and every second could end a dream, one name is beginning to rise above the rest. A name carved in discipline, a name built in fire. Immanuwel Aleem, the victorious.
He's not just fast, he's precise. He's not just strong, he's strategic. Ring IQ through the roof, reflexes like lightning, and a hunger that never fades. He doesn't fight for fame, he fights for purpose. He fights to honor where he came from and where he's going. July 26th, Hanover, Maryland. It's not just a fight, it's a statement. Immanuwel Aleem versus Demond Nicholson, the rematch. From the roots of Richmond, Virginia, laced with Jamaican fire, Immanuwel Aleem is locked in. Stronger, smarter, sharper. Every punch thrown, personal. Every round, a message. This ain't just another opponent. This is unfinished business. Immanuwel Aleem versus Demond Nicholson 2, July 26th. Hanover, MD, the rematch. Be there. On this special edition of The Bud Show, we sit down with a true boxing family. Immanuwel Aleem, the warrior from Richmond, Virginia, joined by his father and head coach, Omar Aleem, and assistant coach Charles Champ Williams. They open up about the journey, the grind, and what it means to fight side by side as family. With a big rematch on the horizon, they're not just training hard, they're telling their story. This isn't just about boxing. It's about legacy.
So can you walk me through your own journey into boxing? Like, what first drew you to the sport, and who were some of your earlier influences?
Well, I'm Jamaican born, so my father used to bring Ring magazine home, and he liked, Muhammad Ali at the time, his previous name, and when he fought Liston, I used to listen on the Radio Fusion. We didn't have television or anything, so the Radio Fusion, round by round. And my father always talked to me about boxing, told me about Joseph Joe Walcott. I didn't know who these people was. And I learned about Archie Moore. That's one of my favorite fighters. And then in Jamaica, we have the local boxing, like Bonnie Grant. And my mother maiden name is Grant. So Bonnie Grant was one of my favorite and boxer. And they have Percy Ailes. And so I grew up under the influence of boxing. Went to school, learned to fight. And that boxing developed from the street. Then in the 80s was Durant and Hagler and Earns came up after that. So like Muhammad Ali, and want to be Muhammad Ali. When I was 12 years old, I asked my mother to make me a shorts with the black and white. Then I studied boxing like Sugar Ray Robinson and Floyd Patterson. I followed boxing coming up.
Yeah.
So coming up, I followed boxing. It was inside of me, but I wanted to go to a gym. Then I was 10 years old. I went to the Spanish Town Youth Center, San Diego Youth Center. And this guy put a bag up and he called us to train. We didn't have a ring. So he showed us how to jab and stuff. And then we had a sparring, and I spar, and it inspired me from that day. And when I went back to the facility, it was closed. So I followed boxing. I went to Jamaica Defense Force, and there was a boxing gym. And also in Jamaica, there were Dragon Gym and Guinness Gym.
Yeah.
And anyway, followed boxing, Jet magazine. I would read about Muhammad Ali coming up from his golden gloves, so forth. And when I migrated to the United States, I wanted to go to Gleason Gym because I was in Brooklyn. But I was about 29 years old and had responsibilities. And I'm like, wow, I got to get myself situated.
Yeah.
So by the time I turned 40s, going up to 50s, I had my sons and Moshe Aleem. And he said to me, I moved to Virginia, and I was in New York. I moved to Virginia, and he said to me, Dad, can you find me a gym? But before that, I had a dream. I had dreams, you know.
Yeah.
And when he was in his, I saw him in a dream and his brother before he was born. And I was wondering, what was that? Why, you know, he was leading a lot of people and his brother beside him. His brother wasn't born yet, but he was in his mother's womb. So when he grew older, when he said to me, Dad, can you find me a boxing gym? But he was the type of kid, he wasn't violent, didn't know anything street or anything. So every time I come home, he's like, Dad, you find my boxing gym yet? So the third time he asked me, I said, let's go. So I took him down Broad Street, West Broad, and I saw Gold's gym. And I said, that's what you want? He said, no, I want a gym. And I saw him one time.
And this was located in Richmond?
Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Virginia. So he said, I want a gym. I said, well, like what? Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, like Roy Jones? He said, yes. So one day I was passing down Hull Street and I saw a sign, Special Effects Boxing. So I stopped and I knocked on the door and I didn't get a response. So a person passing by said to me, what do you want? I said, I need a boxing gym to see if anybody's there. And he said, no, you gotta come back about 6 o'clock. So I went home and told my kids after they come from school, and they were so excited. So they went down to the gym. First, I came from work, stopped by the gym, and I saw the coach. His name was Pancho Melton. And he said, bring the kids. And I spoke to him and he said, bring the kids. So I went home and the kids were so excited. So we come down to the gym same time.
Yeah.
And that's when we started at Special Effects.
Thanks. So as far as that aspect, I wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you to start your own gym? And like, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in getting it off the ground?
Good question. After Special Effects, well, what I was looking for and what I see with my kids at home, I was trying to explain. My son had his first boxing match there, Moshe, not Immanuwel. We couldn't get a match for him, and I see more than what the coach was saying because I was home with them, but they didn't overstand me as a father. They just think every father just want to build their son up and push their sons. So I went to pick up a ring at Citywide Boxing Gym. Ray Brown was there. They was keeping a Golden Glove show. Some promoter guy named Lamar. And Lamar know my kids because I used to give them flyers to put on cars and to advertise his show. He was a promoter. And at the time, he was he had the Golden Gloves, and he was the chairman of the jail, the junior kids.
Yeah.
So he asked me to go pick the ring up for him, and he drive the rider truck. So I went to this gym that he may be, negotiating to use the ring. So I went there and I saw this man named Ray Brown. I didn't know who he was, and he was talking. One of the boxers who came with me was asking him question, And then the way he answered them, I said, this man know what he's doing. That's the man I want to teach my son. So I went back and Lamar said to me, Omar, if I get my gym, can you come? And I said, okay, I'll consider that. So I went back to Special Effects, talked to them, and I wasn't satisfied. So I moved the kids from Special Effects to Ray Brown's gym. Then we did a while. We was there for a while until Ray Brown died, and then his son took over, and it was different when his son took over.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that vibes. So we moved on to Lamar's gym, and at Special Effects, Immanuwel had his first fight. So my two sons started a fight, and they won. So we went to Lamar's gym. Moshe's won a belt there, and then we moved from Lamar's gym. We just getting into different vibes. You know what I'm saying? As we move along, we wasn't feeling comfortable with certain things. So we move along to combat sports. I met Freddie. Freddie Corratone was at Pancho's gym first. He's from New York, Italian, and and I learned. He used to take me around and assist in pro fights.
Yeah.
I was a corner man. I learned to wrap hands, and I was in so forth, a couple of pro fights, and then that's where I got my experience from. And then when I wasn't comfortable again, so that's when I said, let's get my own gym, because the kids were so into it.
Yeah.
Every day they want to work out.
Yeah.
Every day. So the gym will be closed on Saturdays, Fridays, and Sundays they want to work out. So I want to build a gym in my backyard, but I went to the city council and I said, the city hall, and they said, the zoning, you cannot have a ring in your backyard. So,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So so
was that as far as safety reasons, or?
I don't know. That's zoning.
Okay.
It's zoning. So that's when I started to look around Richmond to see if I can find me a building, and I saw this building on Hull Street. Called the gentleman, and he said, "Well, you cannot pay for that. You can't afford it." So after 6 months, I made my wife look around, and couldn't find any, and then I called him back. I prayed. I went down on my knees and prayed, and I finished praying. I took the phone up and called him and said, "Sir, your gym been empty for about 6 months now. You know how much money you could get for that?"
Yeah.
And say, "Come down and talk to me." And that's when my wife came. She took out $500 and paid down on it, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
But my wife's background is different. Maybe you can get an interview with her, because she came with Howard Davis, and I didn't know that Immanuwel's great-grandfather was a boxer. His picture is over there in the wall. I'll go make you have a shot at that too. So that's another thing from before they were born, is their grandmother, my wife's grandmother, gave me his picture.
Yeah.
And she grew up with Howard Davis in New York. So that's it's part of it.
Most definitely. So as far as me coming to see a gym, I like the aspect of it. I like when you walk inside the gym, you feel that testosterone, that manliness when you come in.
Right.
So like, how does your gym, differ from others in the terms of culture, philosophy, or training style? Like, how do your gym differ from other gyms?
Spiritually, mentally. As I said, my dream. So that's part of the spiritual. Mentally, I trained the mind.
Most definitely.
Because most everybody I found out is physical fit already. The problem is balance.
Yeah.
Is mental and physical balance. You could be in the gym and your mind will be 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
And I stuck to the fundamental first.
And the fundamental is
right.
Your mindset.
And understanding the fundamentals is another thing. You training somebody and you train them your way.
Yeah.
That person have a different style, different way of thinking, a different vibration. So you have to understand how to balance that.
Yeah.
So in my gym, every boxer in my gym have a different style.
Yeah. So like, what was your vision when you started your gym, and like, how close are you to achieving that vision?
Well, honestly tell you, I don't see a vision. I never see a vision in my gym. Well, in a sense, it's just 9-dimensional sports. It's as I grow, as my sons was the vision.
I understand.
Because I followed their lead.
Yeah.
So they don't want to tell me they want to box. So what got me is when they said, "Dad, I want to go out of town."
Yeah.
And I see the heart they got. They wasn't scared of nobody. So we were local level. So when we start to learn about the national level, the regional level, then we said, well, we have to go there. So we have the state level, the regional level, the national level, and we have invitational all the town. So there was a ringside championship in Missouri, and Pancho, the first gym I was at, he met us at Ray Brown's gym, and he gave us this ringside magazine, 2007, because we went to Pancho 2005. So by 2007, and he said, "You can go to the ringside. Moshe can win that. your kids can win if they go. So he was confident now that my kids couldn't win. I was like, wow, that's the first dreamer. What's that? So I gave the magazine to Ray Brown, and about a couple weeks after, he gave it back to me and said it's not going. So I was like, you know what? I want to go.
Yeah.
So it ended spiritually now. That's what I was telling you, inspire me. In November, there was a Silver Glove Championship. So this is how the doors open up. My son won the state, and he have enough fights, more than five, boxing matches to go to the regionals. So it's automatically took them to the regional. Cool. So he won the state, and both of them won. We go to the region, and we end up in Georgia.
That's good. That's good.
So by 2008, we was in Georgia, and we went up to the national championship in Missouri. Yeah. So that's her journey from that.
So like pretty much what you're saying was like your kids kind of had the vision. And you just went along.
Remember the dream I told you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I followed them, their path. Yeah. Because they're the one who boxing, and I saw how hungry they was, how, you know what I'm saying, attention they wanted to get and improve that, and they wasn't scared. Yeah. And most of the coach was like, I'm not going. And we were the only one from Virginia who was traveling at that time, because most coaches didn't want to go. They're scared. They're going to be, are you going to DC? They're going to knock you out. How you going to? So we went all the way to the nationals, and that inspired us. Okay, we're going to be at the national level now.
Yeah. So, facts. Yeah. And I like how that came and turned out for you. And like, as far as I know, you're a coach now, Coach Omar. Like, what do you look for in, young fighters when they first walk into your gym? Is it skill, attitude, heart, or is it like something else? Like, what do you look for when those kids first come inside those doors and say, I want to train under you?
The first thing, attitude. I have to, attitude. Yeah. I have to understand the attitude so I can train them. Mm-hmm. That's very important. Because if you don't understand the attitude, then you have conflict. Yeah. A person aggressive, you know to train that person is aggressive. You know what I'm saying? A person is not aggressive, you know to train that person. So I have to know to build that person. Yeah. Different attitude, you know what I'm saying? I have different attitude. Aggressive, I got to get them down. Let them understand how to use that aggression positively.
Yeah. So tell me about your kids. Like, how many do you have, and what are they like, and both in and outside the ring? Like, how are your kids?
Well, Immanuwel and Moshe is my last kids. And in and outside the ring, what I see is not, because they haven't been on the street much. Yeah. From ever since they've started boxing. So from they were born, my wife just coordinate. I had a thrift store, so from the left school at my thrift store, from a thrift store to home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when they left school, coming home, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They may have altercation, because I did that when I was in school. I had fights, and so forth. But in the gym, they were very focused. Yeah. They know what they want. Yeah. A matter of fact, Moshe, he adopted Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson style. Yeah. But most people see, because he do the Ali shuffle, they see the Ali, but they don't understand the Sugar Ray Robinson style. Yeah. So I mean, Immanuwel adopted this Joe Frazier and Mike Tyson techniques. More of like a but they have their own style too, so they incorporate all of that. Yeah. And they study boxing. They do their own work. Yeah, because they kind of have that type of, what you say, Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier. Yeah. That's a terrible combo to have. Right. Yeah. And Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali. Yeah. But when Moshe do the Ali shuffle, and because he's so fast with it, they call him Ali, but they don't understand the Sugar Ray Robinson. So I don't say nothing about that. Yeah. But I know the Sugar Ray Robinson because I had a coach named Billy Saunders' son. He died, but he was with us before, and he met Sugar Ray Robinson's sparring partner, and he gave them a glove. His glove is right here too in my gym, and I think his name is Mahaney, Mahone and
Haney.
something like that.
Yeah,
Mahone,
yeah.
Mahone or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So he took them to the nursing home where he was at. And I think when he died, I don't know if they went to the funeral, but that's influenced the Sugar Ray Robinson style.
Yeah.
Came true, you know.
And you kind of noticed it.
Yes, yes.
So, like, how did you I know you said as far as your kids seeing the vision, but as far as you being a parent, like, how did you introduce your kids into boxing? Like, was it something they were naturally drawn to, or did you guide them into it?
No, they're the one. As I said before, Moshe said, I want to box. So they used to watch Roy Jones, had that little video stuff and advertise, and they used to watch that. And my wife got it, I think she had this, I don't know what, she bought it for them and they used to watch it, but they the one who choose boxing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're the one, and I just support them because from my father point of view coming up, and something that I wanted to do and I couldn't do, and I want to guide them the best, give them the best that I can as a father, as a parent, to support them, and that's what I did.
Most definitely. Like, I know that you're a coach now. I know you've been a coach for a while now. So a question: is it harder to teach your kids, or is it harder to, teach other fighters, trying to separate that fatherhood to that coach? Like,
well, it's a understanding between me and my kids. We have this telepathic way. They used to me. Moshe is the one who asked me to work with him.
Yeah.
Because he had difficulty at special effects the first gym he went.
Yeah.
So they used to complain, he need this, he need that. So I said, hear that? So on the way home, we talk in the car. That's where his coaching started.
Yeah.
And we go home, we turn our house. My wife turned it into a boxing gym. So when they come from school, they started training.
Yeah.
The coaches didn't know that. Because they're like, don't do anything, don't do this, you know what I mean? And they didn't know that. So I sit in the gym, keep quiet, and just watch them.
Yeah.
And then Moshe came to me and Dad, and they come home, so you jump rope, so job, So I saw how dedicated it was.
Yeah, and you wanted to kind of be a part of that.
Moshe would get up every morning, run through rain, snow. I saw how dedicated. Immanuwel would be there and they're working together. Then my daughter came in the mix.
Yeah.
My daughter, she boxed too. And then the next door neighbor came. That's how my gym started.
Yeah.
And I had about 6-7 kids following me, friends from school. They follow me to the other gyms until I got my gym. So I have enough boxers at the time to get my gym.
Yeah.
So how my gym started, I was at a show in Hamptons, and Robert Matney, he was the president at the time, and he said to me, he saw me with my kids there, and it was unattached now. We went unattached. We didn't have a gym, and he said, when you gonna get to the gym? I said, okay, give me an application. And that's how we started, and I started to, work on that.
Yeah. So, like, I know you were talking about your kids, but, like, have your kids ever, like, surprised you either in the ring or just in how they handle the pressure of the sport? Like, have they ever surprised you, like, whoa, I didn't know my kids was capable of doing that?
Surprise, to me, I wouldn't say surprise, but impressed.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with them traveling and see how they perform and how the reaction of the crowd, the fan base that they got over the years.
Yeah.
So we started to go to Ohio, Georgia, Cincinnati, Ohio, and meet people. North Carolina, DC, Maryland, and we started to get a lot of love.
Yeah.
Encouragement. Hey, DC, Maryland, okay. And then when the boxing, is a thing about boxing that I learned. When you're in a state level, okay, you have your state fans. Yeah. Now, when you go to the regional level, each state got to box each state. So your state gonna support you against the next state. When you go to the national level, the regional. Yeah. And part of the region too, like DC, we'll be fighting Florida. Yeah. So DC gonna drive with us against Florida. So when we go to the national level, we're representing our region. Yeah. So we have region 2, who was a region, and so all the region 2, we're the best in region 2 because we won the region.
Yeah, most
so
definitely.
everybody gonna want region 1 and region 2 to win the national. So that's how it is, and we learned the science.
Yeah.
We learned the science of boxing. We learned it, and we decided to master the science. And that's why I teach boxing at a certain level. So as I said, when a person comes in the gym, the main thing I look at is where I can take you.
Yeah.
Are you willing to go there?
Yeah. I know it's a tough road.
Yeah. Are you understanding where I can take you?
Yeah.
I can take you to the Nationals.
Most
I
definitely.
can take you to DC. I can take you to Georgia. I can take you to Ohio. Are you willing to go? Do you have the heart to go?
Most
Like my
definitely.
sons did? If you're ready, we're ready to take you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. And it's, make me happy because I can bring kids, and I bring other kids that are from my sons to the Nationals.
Yeah. And as far as you being a coach, I know it's other things you do. I heard you sing. So tell me about that. Like, when did singing kind of enter your life?
As a child.
As a child.
My mother told me when I was a young baby, I was in the hospital because I swallowed a bottle of perfume, and she came to visit me. She saw me talking to the kids and so forth. So as a child, I went the church influence, radio influence, music influence, growing up on reggae, growing up on R&B, American R&B songs, Ray Charles, you know what I'm saying, Smokey Robinson, Motown vibes, so all of that and it's made me happy. And the church, I go to church, I would sing because I felt that spirit inside, outside of me.
Yeah.
Especially by a river. I grew up by the river, so when I go to the river, I would sing all the time. I bathe in the river, so that vibes, I've been just having that vibe. So I grew up off the dancehall, the Jamaican dancehall, because I used to work and go to school, and right in front of me was one of the discotheque. His name was Ruddy's. And my father was a lumberyard person, so he sell lumber. So he would sell lumber for the discotheque, boxes.
Yeah.
So when the discotheque plays, testing out like weekends, like holiday now and so forth, they would play the tunes that they're gonna play tonight at the party, or the dance. They call it dance. So I would hear every song from the last song, and they pack the box up. Guess where the dance are gonna be at?
Where?
Beside me, New Yorker Club, right beside my house. So I also influenced, listen to all these songs, and I can, when I got home from work, my grandma would send me across the dance by curry goat. So I would stay in my bed until the last song played, and it was Babandi. I got to go back home. So I learned these songs, and in school again, while I was in school, across from the school was another discotheque named Stereo, Pappy Williams. So he was playing, and in school, the song was, I was listening to the song in school. So also influenced, then you have the jukebox. When I go to, my father used to be at the shop at the bar sometime, and they give me a quarter, so I put in the jukebox and I play. So the jukebox was one of the main entertainment back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So that's got me into music.
Yeah. So I do a little research before I come on here, and it was one song that you did that I caught on YouTube, and it caught my attention. It was it Baby Baby Why You Do It?
Oh, baby, why you do that?
Yeah. That song definitely caught my attention. I enjoyed that song.
Yeah. That's a Jamaican style called DJ. Baby. Yeah, I like that song. Why do you do that? Yeah, it's about an experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have relationship, and we're honesty and dishonesty.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yes, I mean, today for you, tomorrow for me. What is to be, just got to be. And I'm just saying, in life, you just got to be honest. People say karma, but you know what I'm saying? And, I approach my relationship with honesty. And in life, that's what I grew up to be. I like honesty. And, and I strive to be on that side. I'm not saying I'm 100%, but I love honesty. And it hurt me when I'm dealing with somebody and they're honest. You know what I'm saying? It hurt me a lot. you know, because you know, it's love. Honesty to me is love, and that's the love I get from it.
Yeah, and
So-
I know you told me you had a Jamaican background. So was music a big part of your upbringing in Jamaica?
Yeah, that's what
And
I say. Yeah, Jamaica, we have like today, Independence Day. Oh, party all over the place, music all over. You know, we had New Year's Day, Boxing Day, after New Year's Day, and from Christmas. You know, so in school they used to bring party, but you know, after school, you know, like breaking up. You know what I'm saying? They have parties. So I grew up off party. In the community is music.
Yeah.
So I grew up. My father was, man, that's all. When I go visit him, like after work, he'd be I know where to find him at the bar.
Yeah.
I know to find him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I watched him, you know, a lot of songs that I grew up in, and it become, you know, it just become a part of me.
Most
and
definitely.
when growing up now, I grew up amongst the Rastas.
Yeah.
I grew up among the original Rasta. My neighbor is Leonard Howell, and he's one of the who brought Rasta to Jamaica. A lot of guys talking about Rasta don't understand it, and it's not the dreadlocks; it's from your heart. So these Rastas, right now, in the village that I grow, they have a place named Pinnacle that they establish. They produce their own. You know, they were self-sufficient. So I grew up among these Rastas who taught me a certain discipline and things. And they were a little they were different in their culture. They didn't eat pork, eat salt. They eat they don't eat with forks sometimes. They eat with gold, like, and the rice with coconut oil. They make their own coconut oil. So they didn't use comb. You know, they was just different, and they was natural.
Yeah.
And they took me aside and they showed me certain things, and I compare with, you know, Christianity was there. My grandmother was a Christian, my father Christian, my mother Christian, and I was there to observe. So all my life I've been in that level, observing this culture, that culture. Then I learned the American culture, the British culture, and that's where I stand. Up to today, I do my own research.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I try to stay on the path that's positive.
Yeah.
And then I learned Bob Marley came, and when Bob Marley came, he wasn't Rasta at the time. He came up, I saw Bob Marley in 1972. He was just Afro, high on the stage. And Bob Marley was, oh, he black, he high. And then Bob Marley learned Rasta because I know other people taught him, and and from our village, a lot of influence, a lot of Rastas, and that song Bob Marley came with was positive songs.
Yeah.
Positive vibration, Rastaman vibration, positive, and you know, and going through the religious school and the Rasta school, I could see the difference, and then go back to the culture, African culture, Ethiopia, all of that, you know what I'm saying? So I do my research up to today.
Yeah, so that's good. It's good that, like, as far as, say, when you do your research and you had the music background,
right,
and then your kids kind of got you into that boxing background, like, have you ever used music as a part of your training or the gym environment? And, like, how do the two worlds, boxing and music, connect for you?
Well, I don't use music for my training.
Okay.
I use a vibration,
Yeah.
a frequency, because of my knowledge and so forth. There's some frequency and vibration that I use. That's why you say when you come to the gym, you felt that vibes.
Yeah.
So I kept the positive in you, that certain energy.
Most definitely.
So a lot of people try to come to your gym with different energy. No, I want to stay at a certain energy so everybody can happy.
Yeah.
When you come in here, you feel that vibe, you strengthen you, it motivate you. You get what? So my sons use their music, and I like most of the songs they play, as long as it's not cursing and you know what I mean, and other little kids listening to that, I don't understand it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I let them kids come in, I know the vibration, they want the vibes, okay. Hip hop now, you know, back in the days they couldn't curse. Nowadays you curse, they say, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I went to other gyms and they're like playing cursing music. I'm like, okay, that's the vibe, now what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta face reality, and that's how it is.
Yeah, and like, as far as like your Jamaican roots and upbringing, like what was your childhood growing up in Jamaica, and like what part of the islands are you from, and how did it shape you to the person you are now?
I'm from Jamaica, West Indies, and the discipline, I tell you, the elders, they would take me aside and they would show me, you man, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, follow bad company. You know what I'm saying? Be constructive. So the Rastas would take me aside, and my grandmother grew up with a lady who was adopted me from when I was 2 years old. And I look into life and I say, you know, my parents are poor. I don't want to get into trouble. And my mother, she's emotional, very emotional. She cried if anything happened. So I don't want to put my mother through that. Yeah. So I try to be on a safe side. I try to humble myself, don't get into trouble. Yeah. So I end up at 10 years old, my grandmother said, I've got you a job. So I went out working at a hardware store from 10 years, when I was 10 years old. I was a hardware store clerk until I mastered that. Then I ended up at 14 years old. Then I went to the golf course and be a caddy at 12. That's another experience. Yeah. I was a caddy. And then at 14 years old, I was a printer. I went to college, mining college, and I got to be a foreman. And then at 14 again, I went to the sugar industry and I become a lab sampler, then got promoted as a chemist, a bench chemist. So I was testing sugarcane sample at 14 years old. Then that took me from that jobs to 17 years old. I ended up at a fridge company making refrigerators, and then I went to the army from that.
Oh, okay,
to be a
okay.
farmer, yes. So all of that experience, I keep on the working side, I kept on that side, I keep away from friends, bad company, and that kept me working. Yeah. Because I have to provide for myself, I don't leave everything to my parents.
Yeah, so you kind of put all the childish stuff, because it says, like, I know that you say your grandmother and some of your family were Christian, and like, I know that it says in the Bible, like, you kind of put childish things aside now that you're a grown man. And like, did you face any struggles moving from Jamaica to like where you are now? And like, what was the transition like for you and your family when you decided to move from where you were born at to the United States?
Well, I went to the movies, so I've been growing up a little awareness of America and like the British system. And my guardian, I call her my grandmother, granddaughter went to Howard University and Harvard. So I was influenced by her. Okay, she had a master's degree, bachelor's degree, master this, and she did movies. So I was like a little brother to her.
Yeah.
So
that kind of meant a lot to you.
Yeah, coming to America, when I came, I read a lot of books about America. I read about a lot of stuff in, good stuff, some are what do you call fiction and non-fiction. Yeah. Like Louis L'Amour, he would write cowboys stories and about Virginia, but he used fictions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I read a lot of non-fiction. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey. I grew up off Marcus Garvey.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up off a lot of Marcus Garvey. So I was influenced by that. William de Boris, and a lot of, the 70s, the 80s, 60s, you know what I'm saying? So when I came to America, I was in New York, but when I saw, to me, it's just the Holy Spirit. Honestly tell you. Yeah. I can't explain it. Yeah. It's what the Spirit guide me out of and guide me towards today.
Well, and that's a good thing to say, because as far as being, a follower of Jesus, we're guided by the Holy Spirit. For you to say that, that's definitely a good thing.
That's why it guides you to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you. I just got a phone call and you were asking me questions. Yeah. So the Holy Spirit that guide you, and that's what I go by every day.
Yes.
Every day of my life, that Holy Spirit, and I see the signs. This is unholy. This is holy. This is negative, this is positive. Which side you want to be on?
Yeah, the power
Which
of discernment.
side give me the result? Which side give me that vibes? So this vibes is holy, this guy is unholy. And that's the way I grew up as a child. They say good and bad, evil, but the Holy Spirit, I try to be on the Holy Spirit side.
And as far as we're on this subject, like, are any cultural traditions or values from Jamaica you try to pass on to your fighters or as far as your kids?
Yes, good question. Values. Values. I did a song too on that, man. Values. It's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the values. How do you value boxing? Robert Matney said, the ex-president, the day before he died, he came to my wife's birthday party, and someone was there with me, and he mentioned the word values, and I never forget it. And it's very important. That's what my sons did.
Yeah.
They value boxing up to today.
Yeah.
Now he's number 15 in the US. He's going for his championship on the 26th of this month. He valued that. He wanted to be a world champion. He got there 2017 to get a chance. And we've been struggling for a while. He's a 2-time contender.
Okay.
And yes, the values. And that's another thing about the gym. How do you value yourself?
Yeah.
How do you value the things you're doing? Your wife, your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to understand values, overstand it. Values. We can't have our values and throw it away.
Yeah.
So I don't want a kid walk through this door and I kick him out. And then later on, that kid's a world champion. Because of ignorance, I kick him out. But if something has happened, okay, it's okay. But still, I don't want that ignorance. Okay, I don't want to be ignorant of a boxer or anybody come to me.
Yeah, because you kind of, like, as far as when you was talking in your previous, like, when a boxer coming in, you peep his attitude. And it's not as far as you judging the person, but when it comes to you coaching, you need to have some type of level of discipline that when you come in here, you're not sitting there going off, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But you have to have, an attitude towards what you want to do in your life.
You got to be boxing, you got to be like a sensei. Because I did boxing, karate, and jiu-jitsu, so I forgot to tell you that. When I left the army, I went to school of boxing, karate, and jiu-jitsu, so I learned the more mind control. I studied Bruce Lee, so I studied martial arts a little. So I understand the meditation. I understand how to deal with people because I work in the system too. I work in the institution, and I learn brothers who got in trouble, what mistake they make, and they talk to me about it. I've talked to a couple of brothers who, who made some bad mistakes and end up in the system, and that's why the boxing is very good for me because you can prevent a kid from commit a crime, from doing something stupid.
Yeah.
And then you regret it later on. So, gonna show them a way out. Say, listen, the kid, this is not right. That's right. Think positive.
Yeah.
And there's another thing I learned in the military: think before you speak, think before you leave. They always say that.
Yeah.
Some people don't think; they leave.
Yeah.
And, oh man, and then you're sorry after. You got to think.
Yeah, that's how a lot of young kids is today. Like they go off of impulse before sitting thinking about what they actually gonna say. And like, I know you've been coaching ever since your kids were young. Like, so as far as you, like, what keeps you motivated every day to keep coaching, especially in such a tough and demanding sport?
Sometimes it's one phone call. Sometimes my son called me and I want to do this. So those are the things that keep me motivated. So I'm like, man, I want to do this. But like, but it's like the call to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The call to do it. And you know what I'm saying? Is the call to do it. And not only that, I see like my grandson is leaving Sunday for Colorado Springs. And he's ready to go. Because he's going to Germany. And the girl too, Kayla.
Yeah.
My son fighting at 26. He's looking to fight. You know what I'm saying? So the support. I mean, I just want them to get the best out of it. The best out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Getting the best out of everything.
Yeah. And another question before I end, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind not just as a coach, but as a father, a mentor, and as a man?
Oh, that's a good question. Being positive.
Yes.
Stay on the right path. Like my grandmother told me. She said, if I died and you get into trouble, I'm gonna throw a stone while you walk there.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing my grandmother instilled with me when I was little. Stay away from bad company. So I would like to leave something positive for others to follow. I came from nothing. I could be doing something stupid. You know what I'm saying? I give back to the kids, give back to the community, and they can learn from what I do.
Most
I try not to make mistakes. You know, it's just a lot of, you know, the wind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of wind, man. You know, here and there, when it's blowing, man. You know what I mean? But survival is another thing. You know what I mean? Survival is something. Bob Marley did an album named Survival, and you know what I mean, is your best judgment. You know, and the main thing for me is to be positive.
Yes.
In what I do. Make use of everything, be positive, because if you're not, you're gonna have a problem. It's like driving a car. You know what I'm saying? If you don't stay in the road and focus, what's gonna happen? You think you're off the road, you gotta stay focused to get where you're going, right?
Yep.
You wanna go home safe, right?
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, what can happen?
You
can hurt somebody, you can hurt yourself, you can blow your tire, it'll delay you. So life is like that. Bob Marley said, life is one big road with lots of signs. So when you're traveling to the road, don't complicate your mind.
And I appreciate having you up here, boss man, interviewing. And Coach Omar, I want you to go ahead and let the people know where they can find you at, where they can reach you at. If it's kids or anything that you want to bring into the gym, explain how they can get to you and how they can reach you.
Well, my phone number is 804-397-1524. And my gym is at 312 Cavalier Square, Oakville, Virginia.
Hey, what's up? It's Immanuwel Aleem. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Immanuwel Aleem. And I go by the Chosen One.
Already. So, man, I know that your dad talked highly of you. Like, so as far as the situation you in, take us back to the beginning. Like, what was your life like before boxing? And like, what first pulled you into the sport?
I was just an adventurous kid who loved to do anything possible that I can physically do or put my mind to. So if it was, I was real good in school, and I tried to be the best of my abilities and everything. So if it was, I would say I would be a free runner. I'll be climbing, I'll be jumping. If I had like schoolwork, I'd try to be the best in the class. I was like, with the OVB Shepherd, and I was in the spelling bee. I wanted to be the best. I was like the top. I had messed up right the week before I had to go on to the spelling bee. I had to let my best friend take my spot because he got me in trouble. So he went in there, but like I always try to be the best, and I was the first kid from OVB Shepherd to get a perfect score in the SOL. So me taking my academics, and that was like the testament who I am. I take whatever I feel like I can do in my ability, and I try to max it out. And schoolwork right there, and I was maxing it out at that point because I was being troubled a little bit, and then I had me and the principal start talking to me a little for a while, and then I turned around and had the most improved that year, and then I got the perfect score in the SOL. I'm the first black kid at that school to get that. And then that got me to advance into middle school where I had honors for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh yeah, so academics always been kind of a high priority on your list as far as being knowledgeable in school and classwork.
It wasn't. It came apart. I mean, my mom and dad did tell me to always be smart and do that, but I was free. I loved to do outside and play and everything. Loved sports and was talented. I was flipping and doing things for school. At that point, that was the one that was taking off and leading. I didn't want to get in trouble at home.
Facts. So what was the defining moment in a fight or a loss or some type of hardship that made you realize that what it takes to chase that championship path? Like, what kind of thing happened in your life that let you know I have to keep continuing to do this to be able to reach my goal?
Um, I would say it would be basketball.
Yeah.
I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm a ball head. You know, basketball my favorite love. Like I said, I got a lot of success in boxing, but basketball is what leads a lot of everything for me when it comes to inspiration and the competitiveness, the training, the seeing that you can get a championship playing since I was a kid, seeing my sister play. Both my sisters, they played. I used to watch their games and watch them go, watch the girls play before the guys, and being inspired by Allen Iverson and seeing him play and his hard work and the trials and tribulations he went through, him being in Virginia, we moving to Virginia at the time, so it was like seeing what you can achieve from being a kid like that, growing up, going to get your dreams and pushing as hard. That kind of transferred over for me as being a boxer, because when boxing and fighting came, I could just, you know, compare the two. You know, I was already playing, going hard, going against the best, training, running drills, doing everything in basketball, and then now, you know, in boxing, I was fighting at home, fighting in the streets, fighting around kids. So that just compared. It was like compare and contrast, man. Basketball, I'm gonna do the same thing I do over here.
Yeah. So pretty much, like, if you didn't, because you always had, I would say, as far as me knowing, you always had kind of that boxing background. But like, say if, you know, you wasn't to continue boxing, basketball would kind of be like your lean on sport to go to if anything happened.
If boxing didn't take off, it was definitely gonna be basketball. I would have put all my eggs in that, but boxing became, like, to be honest, I didn't like boxing. Boxing was something that just, how can I say?
It just came across you.
It matched. It's something, I guess I'm successful in this because I keep going against it. I keep going to other stuff that I love to do, and it keep bringing me back to fighting. So it's like, let me go back to fighting, because I was always fighting at home. Like I said, me and my brother used to fight a lot, and it was a lot of tension growing up. A lot of tension in the area, in the where we lived at, in the household, in my life. So boxing really helped a lot with that.
Most definitely. So like, when you're boxing, I know boxing is much mental as it is physical. What personal demons or doubts did you have to fight outside the ring to stay in the ring?
And everything. I feel like it's so much like just getting through your daily life as a kid and going around your environment, out your door, just to go to the park, to go to school, to go to the store. You know, we're coming from New York, going and growing into Richmond, Virginia, and at that point, New Yorkers in Virginia they didn't mesh well. You had people from New York that came down, and I felt like they just didn't like the attitude of trying to run this area. And Richmond stand for themselves, so don't come over in my place trying to take over. You can do what you do, but you can go back. So that was the attitude we got, and we used to see them kind of push them out of here. So us dealing with that, you know, standing on our own, coming from out of town, and then we had to earn our respect all the time. So we earn our respect in school, earn our respect in friends. So that became a fight of its own. And then, you know, that led into the boxing side. So all that in the streets, having, you know, had to protect yourself and everything. And me and my brother and my sister, we used to go to school together. So my older sister used to have to walk us, and we always had to be together, and we get picked on. We had to defend ourselves. We get cool. We had to fight. So it's just been fighting for a long time.
So if you had to describe your record, not as being a professional in the ring, what would your record be before you even decided to get in the ring? I'm talking about, like you said, school fights, street fights. What would your record be compared to your record in the ring?
I don't know. I was a good fighter back now. I'm not gonna say I was the best, but I fought everybody. If I can get you, I'll get you. You could have been a grown man, a kid, it ain't matter. And I was the smallest too. At that time, I was real short. I wasn't like midget size, but I was under height, and everybody else was bigger and taller than me and stronger than me. So I still gave them the best I could at that time. But my record, boxing probably better right now. I ain't gonna lie. They probably got me a few ones. I ain't lose every one, but I gave my hands what I can. I ain't gonna deny it. I want no pushover.
As far as describing like a day in your life, like describe a day when you had the toughest time doing one of your training camp sessions. Like, which training camp that you went to was kind of the toughest and demanded the most out of your abilities?
And I got a little bit of trauma from my training from my previous management, man. It was like I was being dogged to be trained like a mad dog. So
Yeah.
for me now, being with my dad, I trained a lot. I used to train, hours, sweat, continuous on rounds, on bags and different equipment. But when I was trained with a trainer one time, I was brutal. It was brutal training. Like I feel like it wasn't so much as far as skill wise. It was just burning myself out. So I don't look pleased about it.
Yeah. So who is one of your biggest influence in your boxing or in your life in general, and how did it shape you in your fighting style or your mentality? Like, who was one of your main influences?
Like I said, I'm gonna start off with the basketball, because basketball always been my inspiration. And seeing there's a lot of things that basketball has that fighters already got: the killing instinct, the way you got to attack, take over, pressure situations, being in court, thousands of people, all that. So I got to see how these players adapt to that environment. And then going into boxing, when you're throwing hands, I gravitated to Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was one of the first, and Mike Tyson,
Big Joe.
and then Roy Jones, and then Sugar Ray Leonard, and then Floyd Mayweather. So seeing their inspiration, listening to their stories, watching their stories, seeing the way they came up, and then watching us being young. And I was like, well, I'm here already. If I do what they're doing now, I can reach there by that time. So that was my mindset already early on as a kid. Instead of me waiting to get 20 or 30, if I'm running 5 miles, if I'm doing a shadow box, if I'm doing this at 12, 13, 14, I'll probably catch up or can exceed what they was at. So my mentality was that early on.
Yeah. So as far as catching up and exceeding, like, I know that, talking to your coach, your dad, that, you traveled to a lot of states, you fought a lot of people. Who was one of the people that kind of starstruck you when you seen them, like I would say your boxing idol? Like, you went to a show, or you went to an event, or you went to some type of, special card match where you ran across one of your favorite boxing celebrities, and it kind of changed your look on boxing.
It was different because a lot of guys we was new into it, and we had to really see the scene and see who was there. So we was studying and just looking at, and in tournaments, people come out the blue. It might be a fighter next week out of Petersburg that randomly becomes nice, and then next month you might find a guy at a Chicago that's real nice. But Chicago had a lot of great fighters. But I would say, for me early on, from watching the talent, it was Gervonta Davis, because he was right here in Maryland, and he was out of our region. And when I seen him and seen his skills, I was like, man, he's gonna be that guy. And now look at him now in boxing. I've seen that early on when I was a kid, and I was 13 when we first saw each other. I think at the tournament, in ringside tournament, and I was fighting. And I think he saw me fighting, because we was amongst the team at this point. And he said, yo, he's nice. You know what I'm saying? He told his Coach Calvin. So after that, we kind of saw each other and everything. I'll go support him fight, and support us fighting. So it was dope to see somebody I already knew would be great and be a part as a teammate. So that was cool all the time I see him, because he was like the southpaw version of a Floyd. So I always seen he could do everything a right-hander could do, but opposite. So it was cool to see that for the first time. So.
Yeah, just to be able to see, somebody of that caliber and kind of take off, and you, like you say, you kind of knew he was in that situation to take off, and you kind of witnessed that firsthand. I know that's a crazy feeling.
There was things that you was doing as a fighter that guys wasn't doing yet, of moving their head and slipping and walking around things, and it's like, man, a lot of elite fight, you don't see too much people doing this. So I'm seeing that early on, catching on, like, no, he's special.
Yeah, because I know, like I said previously beforehand, you already on your own have decent amounts of fights. You already made a name for yourself. People know who you are. And like, how did success, even the small wins, start to change the way people treated you? And did you struggle with that attention or pressure?
No, because we didn't have it. And I think early on as a kid and being through all these tournaments and stuff, like now we're getting more so the recognition for a lot of things that we fought so hard for. They really overlooked us a lot over the years. They didn't think we was gonna make it. Even my dad, when he was telling his story about him being a trainer, they didn't see him being a trainer. They said dads can't coach their kids. That was one of the things that hurt him, hearing early on, because he wasn't trying to be a guy who just wanted to step aside the main coach. He just wanted to assist. And we didn't get the respect when he came to these tournaments and fight these #1 guys and top guys. They was already writing us off every time we did something, they wrote us off. So I never really accounted for when we did started to get it, because I'm always looking at it like, man, I just remember the time they wrote us off, and just push you back in that mode to keep pushing, to keep going. Each tournament, you know, tournaments happen yearly. Things monthly and stuff happen, like they come out the blue. So you always trying to achieve the next. And you got these guys, 16-time nationals, Olympic teams, and this and that. We're trying to get that, so we trying to go to the next year. They're saying you can't beat this person, so it's never ending. I'm always trying to uphold that.
Yeah, most definitely. And like, what's something about the fight game people don't see about you? Like the part behind the lights, behind the gloves, that's real to you, but might not be real to everybody else. Like how could I say it? Like when you're in a fight, people don't understand personal battles that you're going through. All they see is, you know, he going in, he fighting, he giving it his all. Like, what's some of the behind the scene things that people don't see about you that you already peep yourself?
They don't see the intelligence and the work ethic. I really, you know, study my game. I've been studying this for a long time. I do a lot of things, and some things might look like sometimes they see the fighter in me, but they don't see how I set up things. And like real good fighters know when you stepping over and when you moving things and you taking certain people power away from them and things like that. Like they might see the power and blow for blow, but they don't see the moves, the side to sides, the feints, the pulls. Like it's some of the things I know and I've studied and watched from boxing, because it's layered. Like I said, going from basketball has more breakdown than boxing, because you can break down your skills a lot better. And if I can decipher that, it's like you can say your layups, your jump shots, your hook shots, but in boxing it's always just throw. And then some people just want you to throw punches versus you want to be technical. I'm real technical. I really study my technical game, and that's what makes me the boxer, but I never really get to display that as much, so they're gonna see.
Yeah, cause I know, just like how your dad said, it's more like a mental and a science to the boxing. Because just like you said, you know, you have certain moves or certain things that you do to take the power away from the other boxer. You have certain slips, you have certain movements that just won't let that person
get
that.
The thing is, man, game is chess. It's chess in there, and boy, you're on the physical. Like, yeah, you strong at this, but I can make you look weak. No matter how strong you are.
Like, so I know you've been doing doing the boxing for a long time, so I know everybody has certain type of stress that they have. Like, did the ring ever become like your escape? So if so, like, what were you escaping from? Like the streets, family pain, self-doubt? Like, what kind of things that you kind of bring to the ring with you and leave it in the ring that kind of get that stress up off you?
For me, seeing with boxing and being around it for a while, well, I would say for myself, I cannot fight without, how can I say? I can't fight without being my authentic self. So whatever you see, that is me. You know what I'm saying? I have to unleash that. Boxing has definitely been the therapy for me, far as I feel like I was a younger kid with anger issues. I had a lot of anger, and I needed to express that anger. Boxing gave me the platform to express that. You know, I'm able to collect myself, be disciplined, get my mind right, work out, tire myself out, do whatever I need to do. That's why when I came up into boxing, at one point, boxing is real fun now where people can jump into it and have fun and make money. But at one point, it was a disciplinary sport. It was like, hey, you got problems, you go box. You want to get tough, you go box, because it's going to get you right. And because we walked into it off of how it happened, it disciplined us, because I didn't use that anger that I would have used in school. I used it in boxing, so that helped a lot, because I'm like, I can go spar my guy later on. I ain't even got to argue with you right now, you know what I'm saying? It really makes you make better decisions, the decision making, use structure and how you use your tools, and not just fight somebody, just fight them. It's like, okay, it really disciplines and structures you a lot. So it plays a lot into that in the ring as well, because I feel like you bring your character. You are who you are. And boxing exposes that when you're in here. Like, it's you versus the other person. If you're a person who don't like to do certain things, we're all gonna see. We're all can see and identify who you are, because you can't hide it. Yeah,
because like, as far as when I first came in here, like, this is the first time I ever been in a ring, any type of ring. Oh man,
you're so comfortable. You're like you've been here before.
And like, I was seeing, I'm like, how do he deal with not just the fact of being in the ring, but being in the ring and you have hundreds or even thousands of people watching you, and it's not just spectators, it's sponsors, it's people that's in important positions that, like, if you happen to win this, like, it can take you to a whole different level. Like, how do you be able to manage that while in the boxing ring?
Exactly. I watch basketball, like being on the court, seeing all that same difference. Like you being thousands of people, you hit a jump shot, the whole crazy, people go crazy. You miss, you get booed. You know, you feel all that. You know, so then I get into a precious atmosphere like this, and being a fighter, I already know how to fight. So fighting was easy for me. So now being in front of crowds and everything, and I think it's all mental. Like I said, boxing helped with the mental of how to, basically, how can I say, know how to weaponize your tools and know when to use it and when not to. So the choices, you get to know, like, I'm in a situation, it's a pressure situation. I can choose to focus on this crowd and get knocked out, or I can choose to focus just on you. So it's choices.
Cause I know, like you say, you've been boxing for years. Even before boxing, you've been fighting for years. And being able to control that type of weaponry, because those are what is called weapons, because you can't go out and punch somebody's head off because you're going to go to jail.
You can, but you will. You take the penalties.
And you said that mentality, like, it kind of shaped you to the point where, like, I know that fighting him off the record is not going to benefit me no shape or form. So it helps, I guess boxing helped you keep that mentality that, you know, I'm not going to let any outside distractions kind of interrupt what I got going on.
I think you spoke about it earlier when you were speaking on it with my dad when it came to that. Just make those choices.
And so, like, now that you're climbing the ranks, like, how has boxing shaped you, you know, who you are outside the ring as a son, friend, role model, as a man? Like, how did it, it shaped you, you know, getting more fights, getting recognized, and being involved in more events and situations? How did that shape you as, you know, the person you are, as being a role model and as a man?
It was trials and tribulations to get to this point, but I feel like it's completing me. It's completing to the point of where I've always wanted to reach, because, like, I always had this gift to see what's going on and know that we don't have this. We don't have the inspiration. We don't have that. So I already took the initiative. I got to become that. That was me early on, me being a kid saying, you know, boxing was an outlet. People they either fighting, you ganging up, or you doing drugs, or you doing whatever. And it's like, we didn't have no inspiration. We seen our inspiration, they wasn't in the city. We seen Allen Iverson, they not here, they're in Hampton. They out there in Philly, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that person that's close that we can go watch and see be great. Every time we seen somebody in Richmond be great, they get killed. You know, they get killed or something happens to them, they never. So I took that initiative for myself to, hey, I got to be that inspiration the same for these guys. I had to be and get to that road to get to here, so I could see young guys and say, you got somebody to look up to. You got somebody who kept going, and seeing the Michael Jordan stories of him practicing his backyard over and over to get his shot, him failing, you know what I'm saying? Not getting on his team in high school and then becoming an NBA great. It's like, I try to follow the same path, and just persevere, do what I got to do to get to this point.
So as far as when you boxing, what was one of the hardest fights that you came across? Like, your opponent was just a couple seconds ahead, he was a little bit quicker on his feet. Like, what was one of the matches that kind of revamped your brain that I need to go harder for it?
It's crazy because I never really felt like nothing be too hard. I think it's just the mental aspect of me. It's just that I know I can make the adjustment. If I couldn't make the adjustment, that was difficult. But I was able to make the adjustment anybody I got into. But it will probably be the first matches that we'll lose. Like, we lost to a qualified guy the first time we went, and he was a regional or something or a national, and he was like, oh man, he got me this one, but we were gonna get it back. But it wasn't like it was super hard. But I never really had a super challenging fight where it was never out of reach for me. So it's kind of, I just didn't, like Jordan said, I just didn't have enough time. It wasn't like I was breathing for air or I was getting pounded or anything. I've always gave the best exchange. If I had 3 fights, like my first regional, I had 3 fights and I fought somebody with 20 fights and I think 40 the next one, and I won, and I only had 5 fights. I just couldn't advance to the national because you have to have over 5. And that was a good start for me, but I never had the mentality that, like, I couldn't do anything. Like, you're too strong, you're too better. Even I fought you, it was like I did something in there that that made me laugh some way, somehow. That's the fighter in me. Like, you ain't gonna get off on me the whole way.
So when you had your, like, if you can picture it in your head, when you had your very first in the ring boxing match, how did that energy feel? Was it butterflies? Was it, okay, I'm in here, I did this before, I'm gonna go do it? Like, could you describe to me how was the feeling when you got into that ring for the very first time?
I can say that I never had butterflies, but I never had butterflies for no opponent, nobody, because I was a fighter. I was always scared for how much I might hurt somebody.
Yeah.
That's with me. I just like, well.
You don't fight people like that.
Yeah.
You don't fight people like that.
I'm just like, man, I was like, oh man, I know what I could do right now in these gloves if I have to punish this person. So it was just like, I was excited to show my skills and show myself. So that's more of how I approach it. I approach the excitement to showcase and just giving myself the platform to showcase. And when I didn't get the opportunities, those are the ones that get to me the most.
Yeah. So, like, what do you want your story to mean to the next kid coming up in the gym with nothing but a dream and a pair of gloves? What advice would you give to that person?
Don't give up. Actually plan out your dreams and see what you really want out of it. Know right from the gate before you get into it, this is what I want to do. Look at how you want to do it. Just study what you actually want, because you can fall into something off the passion and you can lose it, and you can be like, man, I spent a lot of time doing this, but this ain't even what I want. So actually have a plan before you enter it. Really look at it the whole way through, because I mean, life is going to get to you. If this is the route you have to go through and you have to go to figure it out, I had to go through it like that as well, but I always wanted to be the best in everything I did. And like I said, I kept going away from boxing, and boxing kept leading me back to it. So it's like me choosing this and saying that, hey, I studied it, I seen what it is, and I know that I can achieve this, and I'm pursuing it that way. And I feel great about it. But definitely, if you're going to get into something, before you get into it, just look ahead and see, hey, this is my goal. I'm going to get XXX, and I'm going to do that and just follow that path by all means.
Most definitely. So tell the people about some of the fights you got coming up. Like, what's your training regimen? What different places are you planning to travel or go to to get prepared for your next fight? Let the people know, and even as far as letting them know who your next opponent might be.
Oh, July 26th, Maryland Live Casino, Immanuwel Aleem versus Demond Nicholson. This is the rematch from the 2016 bout, which ended in a draw. This fight is going to be pivotal, very pivotal fight, because I'm number 16 in the WBC at super middleweight. Right now we're fighting at a catch weight, and there's 3 belts, I believe, on the line. There's a UBO belt, possibly. There's a Fecker box belt, and a new DMV belt. There's a DC, Maryland, Virginia belt that's going to be revealed on this fight for the first time that we're fighting for the bragging rights. So this will be a great opportunity for everybody to come and see this fight for sure.
Most definitely, man. And I wish you the best of luck, man, because it seemed like you already got it. You already got it, big dog. So just to make sure you have a recap, let the people know again what time and date and where you'll be having this fight at.
July 26th, Maryland Live Casino is in Hanover, Maryland. Make sure y'all beat us there, because you might miss it.
I hope it don't be that quick. Already. What's up, champ? So tell the people what's your name and what social media platform they can follow you on.
My name is Charles Champ Williams. You can find me at TikTok at Charles Champ Williams 1230. I'm assistant coach at Immanuwel Aleem.
Already.
9th Dimension Sports Circle.
Most definitely. So champ, can you take us back to the first time you ever stepped into the boxing ring and what was going on in your life at the time?
Make it short as possible, man. I first started boxing, stepped into boxing in Pasadena, New Jersey, out of Ike's and Randy's boxing gym. My trainer was Karaz Gis, nickname Terrific. He's still coaching now, and that's how it started.
Most definitely. So as far as I know you train with 9th Dimension with Coach Omar. Like, what's your relationship with Coach Omar, and has it been a major part of your journey? And how did you first two start to get that connection going on?
Coach Omar, man, he's not only a coach, he's a dad to me too. He's a coach dad to me. He's a big part of boxing, because when I left past New Jersey, and I moved to Petersburg, Virginia. I was still trying to find my way, still getting in a little bit of trouble. Then I turned my life around by when I said I'm gonna stop doing this. And I went to this Y in Petersburg, Virginia, and I met a guy named Carter Burnett. And I was telling him that I've been boxing since I was like 5, but I didn't really get serious with it until about 11, 12. I was like, man, I want to still box, man. Still trying to find a good gym. So I started looking up gyms, and I found a gym in Richmond, Virginia. It's called 19 Minute Sports Circle. And I was telling him, I was like, I ain't got a car right now, but I still want to box, man. He said, no problem, man. I'll take you to the gym. You find a gym. And when I found the gym, met Coach Omar, met his wife, DJ Aleem, met his sons, Moshe, Immanuwel Aleem, and his daughter, Hanifa Aleem. So I was like, you know what? That's why I want to go. I feel like home, you know. And he was like, you know what? You still want to box? So he started up the Petersburg Power for me. We started traveling. That's how I started.
Most definitely. And I see that, you know, Coach Omar has a, you know, a big staple in you guys' life. And like, you went from being inside the ring to standing ringside as an assistant coach. Like, what made you want to take that role?
Because boxing always been my passion, I never see myself doing nothing else. So I was like, if I'm not gonna box, I might as well just help out with the kids and the youth. And I started like training kids outside the gym, inside the gym. And I was like, you know what, I want to do it professional too. I got my professional license as a coach and as a fighter, but I never fought. But I was like, you know what, I still want to do it. So I was like, you know what, I'm still gonna stay in boxing. So I started, you know, helping out Coach Omar and his son, and Immanuwel Aleem and Moshe and everybody.
Yeah, so pretty much as far as being behind the scenes and making sure everything goes according to plan and you helping Coach Omar, that was kind of your passion. Even though you enjoy boxing and inside the ring, but your passion was more kind of connecting to the youth and getting them to understand the fundamentals of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely, most definitely. So what do you see when you look at these young fighters coming up under you and Coach Omar? Do you see pieces of yourself in them?
Not really, but I see a lot of potential in a lot of them. Because growing up, my time was a little bit different from now. Fire's not the same. It's different categories. So, but I see a lot of potential. You just got to put more into it, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Like, but I do see a lot of potential. But when you box, man, you got to do it for real. You can't be playing around with it. You gotta make it. You gotta sleep it, eat it, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's definitely a serious sport. Yes. Because at the end of the day, your life is on the line. Yep. Once you come inside that boxing ring. And have you ever had any experience where you seen a fighter going through, I say in over his head, or going up against a fighter that you kind of knew were out of their league? Like,
definitely, I saw all the time in my boxing career. Definitely saw it.
Man.
Yep.
And how did that how did you take that in and kind of reveal that to the newer boxers coming up, that you don't want to go out there and jump into a fight that you're not ready for? You have to learn the fundamentals. And how do you install that into the new fighters?
Just tell them it's all a mental thing. If this is what you want to do, you make sure you do it 100%. Don't go and have ASS, because if you do, it's not gonna work out for you. Listen to your coach and do what you're supposed to do, and you can be anybody. Good jag with foot movement, you can be anybody. You gotta just be mental. It's all mental game.
Most definitely.
Hit and don't get hit.
What'd you say?
Hit and don't get hit.
Yeah, that's the main. That's what I had to learn.
Just focus. You gotta focus.
Yeah. So I know that you said you've been with Coach Omar for a decent amount of time. When was the first time you kind of ran across him? Like, I know you was telling me like you was going to this gym and you ran across him, but like, what was the interaction that you guys had when y'all first met each other?
We first met each other was like 07, 08, because I was looking for a gym to start at, because I came from New Jersey and I was in Petersburg just wandering around doing nothing. So I was like, let me look up some gyms, and I found a gym. As soon as I met him, man, he made me feel like at home.
Most
definitely. It was no other gym that I ever was going to. I felt like it was a home already.
Yeah, so he kind of pretty much got that.
Arms, yeah.
Yeah, that dead mentality.
Yeah, we've been through a lot. I call him Coach Dad. Coach Dad Aleem, yeah. We've been through a lot together, man. From the gym, out the gym, in the gym, everything.
Yeah, so
great guy.
So you pretty much kind of almost like his right-hand man when
Yep.
it comes to coaching and getting all the fighters situated and,
Yep, I
you
make
know.
sure I'm there. Whenever you need me, I'm there.
Good, man.
Never turn my back. I always stay with this gym.
Cool. See, now that's a level of dedication that a lot of people need. Like when you find that right person and that you know for a fact that it's that right person, you stick beside them, thick and thin.
Yep.
Yeah. So looking ahead, like what are your biggest goals, not just for yourself, but for your fighters, your community, and your legacy in the sport?
I just want everybody to know that when you do this sport, it's number one, mental, and number two, you gotta have a lot of dedication to do it. Because if you don't have a lot of dedication, you're gonna lose it all. So you gotta make sure you keep those two in mind and listen to your coaches. And I want the legacy to just keep on moving on. Because, you know, I want Golden Gloves and Diamond Gloves, but I want people to win more than just Golden Gloves, Diamond Gloves, Nationals. I want them to go on to move on to be a world champion.
Yeah.
In every dimension, you know, and
Yeah.
give back to the community.
And
gloves on, guns down. You know what I mean? It's my slogan. Gloves on, gloves down.
Most definitely. So I know a couple of your you and Coach Omar fighters are going to different states or different parts of the countries and some even overseas. Do you plan on making a couple of those trips as well?
Definitely. If it opportunities there, definitely go and help out. I'm always hands on hands with everybody.
And when you do, if you do, or we hope you do, when you do make those trips, do you plan on being ringside right next to Coach Omar?
Oh yes, I'm always side by side with Coach Omar. Like I said, that's my right hand man right there. He like my dad, man, Coach Dad right there. So he's number one in the sport right now. So I make sure I stay by him and take all the knowledge in, and make sure whatever he say do, I do it, and listen to his advice because he's older and I'm still learning as I go. Got a lot of experience in boxing, but when you meet somebody like Coach Omar, they got experience like you're supposed to listen. You know.
Yeah.
I'm a coach of the game, man. You know.
Already, and I appreciate having you up here, man. So is there anything you want to tell the up and coming fighters or people that, you know, first walking in the door? Like what's some of the motivation or what's some of the ideas that you want to install in them before they walk through those doors?
Just want to tell everybody with boxing, man, it's not a game. And there's only one sport that you can't play, and that's boxing. You can play football, you can play basketball, tennis, but you cannot play boxing. So make sure when you walk into the boxing ring, be focused and you be dedicated because you can really get hurt with this game, man. I don't want you to get hurt, so make sure you listen to your coaches and listen to your parents and keep it going. That's all, man.
Most definitely. Already, man.
One last thing, I want everybody to come out July 26th, Red Lodge Casino. You don't want to miss it. Don't blink. It's gonna be a good one. Immanuwel Aleem versus Demond Nicholson. Great fight. So make sure you come out and watch it. And don't blink. Stay off your cell phones. Don't talk to your neighbor. Make sure you watch, because we coming. We coming real vicious. So stay tuned. I'm signing out. It's Charles Champ Williams.